Hello, my friends. Today we have a whole bunch of these little transistor radios and some bigger transistor radios. I think we're going to look at this little Sony, and somebody had asked me a question about this Sony, about these type, and about the speaker. And this one, the speaker grill had been pushed in. Now the thing about these is this speaker grill is part of the speaker. I don't know why at this point Sony was building them this way, maybe to make them a little smaller. But from what I remember, these models, this speaker is part of the frame. So we're going to explore this one. I don't know if it works or not. Let's try to get it out of the case. Let's see what model it is first. Let's see. It's a little tough to get it out. I don't want to rip the case. This one, at least the case is in good shape. I have a few more of this. I'm pretty sure they're the same type radio or the same model. They made a few of these that looked the same, that had different models, like the 600s. Let's see, what's this one here? I need better magnification on that. I can't see it too well. And this one's black. Okay, this is a TR 650. It's a 650. I think the other ones I saw on my pile was 610. At least there's no battery corroding away inside here. So, but see, you can even see like the speaker in there. It's in front of that grill. So I guess we could try to get it out to straighten it out. Let's just see if it works first at all. We'll stick a lithium battery in there, and we got nothing. Zippo, nothing at all. Alright, let's take the cover off it and see. Let's see what we got inside this beautiful TR 650. Made in Japan, 9 volts. 655 kilohertz IF. Pretty much standard. Alright, how's this come out of here? Sony always did... Oh, okay, I see. You know, they always did things a little different, so the frame is part... You know, the back just doesn't come off. It's the whole side. Oh, I see a problem already. Immediately, if you look at the earphone jack. Somebody had pushed something in there and it bent forward. So that's the first thing we got to do, is straighten that. We'll straighten that forward and see if we can get that to work. Oh, we got to bend it and get this in front. Oops, there you go, like that. Probably should have tried to clean it first, but let's see. Is it making good contact? I guess we can always push it back a little bit. In the end, you can jump these out. I mean, does this have it? Yeah, this one actually has the earphone with it, so. And these are kind of, I think these are like a odd size plug. Let me see. Yeah, that's the one for here. Alright, well, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens when we put our battery back in there. Let's see. Do we have any sound? Still nothing. Let's see. Oh yeah, when you play with the thing, I can hear it coming on and off. So it needs a good cleaning. That's probably what happened, is it wasn't working. Somebody's trying to clean it and they bent it. Because now, here we go.
Enrolled in the program.
And it sounds... It sounds very distorted, and I have a feeling the distortion is because that speaker has damage. Also looks like there's a screw missing here, so somebody may have had this apart or the screw fell out, I don't know. Doesn't really look like much has gone wrong. You know, I made a comment on Shango066's, he did a live stream yesterday, and I made a comment about tin whiskers on these germanium transistors, and these, I mean, look at, I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but look at the cases of these. Let me get a flashlight. Let me see what we can do with. I mean, these are just loaded with tin whiskers all over the outside of the case. Hopefully, you could see it in the on the camera there. I don't know. Can we zoom? Can this thing? Can we see that very one? Which I'm looking at this one right here. Can you see those tin whiskers growing on there? I'm hoping we can see that, because he said he's never seen it before or something like that. And I've seen it so many times, especially on these old Sonys. Hopefully you could see that. And what I was saying is, because you see that on the outside of the transistor, I wonder what's going on the inside. Hopefully that came through at least somewhat. I'm going to keep doing this for a couple of seconds more. You can see that sparkling. I could see it very clearly from here, but I don't know how it's coming through. Is there another? Let's see, do we have any other ones? The one, well, I see it on this one up here too. I could see the little sparklies from the tin whisker, but this one is really evident, so hopefully we could see that. Alright, anyway. Yeah, I don't know if that's happening on the inside as well, but I've seen it many times on these, especially these older ones like this. Where is it? Hopefully that came through at least once or twice. Alright, so let's pull the little board out of here and let's see. Let's see if we can get to the speaker. Get that. What else is that? I don't want to take the wrong screws out. There's two up here, but let's see. I don't know. Yep, those two have to come out. Okay, that's good. Let's get those out of there. One fell. There's the other one. Okay. So one of these screws was shorter. Okay, oh, I see which ones. All right, the one that went on the circuit board was shorter, and the two that went on the plastic were a little longer, which makes sense. All right, so here's the speaker, and you see how that's made? Now, I don't know if there's a way to fix that or not. I just don't know. Without tearing it apart, I guess we could try to get this apart, hopefully not break it. Let's see. What's under these little, so there's screws under here? Oh yeah, there are, there's little screws. Okay, let's see. I never have taken one of these apart, so I just don't know. But it sure looks like there are three little screws there, so let's see. There sure are three. Oh, look, it's stuck with the magnet. There it is right there. All right. Great. using my free Granger screwdriver. Nothing like a free Granger screwdriver. Look at that, it came right out. Okay, alright, well, it looks like so this is definitely glued together. Let's go ahead and unsolder it so we can push it on the side. These wires, you know they're going to wind up breaking off anyway. Let's get that over to the side for right now. I guess we could see now if we can, if we could separate this. As long as the cone itself isn't glued to the you know, the cone isn't glued to the frame, it probably would come out without hurting myself here. You definitely got a lot of glue in there. I don't want to pry on the razor blade because we know where that will eventually lead. Obviously this wasn't meant to be taken apart. Well, the glue's kind of coming off, but that's just the top. We don't know what's going on underneath. You know what, I'm going to oh, wait a minute here, let's see. I was going to pause for a minute till I got this out, but what's the difference? What's the difference? You can hang out with me while I scrape the glue off. That's got to be fun watching me scrape glue. We should I should test the radio with another speaker to see if this was actually causing that distortion, because it still could be something else. Let's do that real quick. We have the little 8-ohm TV speaker that's just sitting here. Let's put that battery back on. Let's move all these screws. You know, these screws and this glue is going to wind up on the floor, because that's usually what winds up happening. Alright, 3 screws, 4 screws, the case, put that in the back there. The little cover, alright. These were the chassis screws. Alright, let's see what happens. Let's put, okay, let's see. Let's just wind this up on here. Come on. Very clear. Hear that sound?
Luxury vehicles, and buy real estate in the United States.
So we know it is the speaker that has the problem, so we do have to tear it apart. Either that or get another speaker, which, you know, I probably have another radio we could pull the speaker out of, but that would be too easy. Let's rip this apart and see if we can. Hopefully it's just because it's pushed in, and pushing it out will make it work again. But, you know, it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do, but we'll get it. We'll at least try. I just don't want to get hurt with the razor blade. If ever you're using a razor blade the way I am right now, I mean, I'm not really pushing too hard, but if you ever put force on it, you really want to be extra careful, because the razor blades are made out of a hardened steel. And if it pops back, you know, or if it cracks off, a little piece of fractured metal could hit you in the eye, and that would just be awful. So you got to be careful. You just got to be careful. When it comes to safety, you know, I try to always do the right thing, and I certainly don't want somebody following my lead and getting hurt. That just wouldn't be fun. I really wouldn't want to hear that. Yeah, they glued this in there pretty well. If I could, if it were just a part of it where I can get something underneath it. You know, this is, you can see this from the outside of the radio, so I don't want to bend it and ruin it. But you know, the way it sounds when you touch it, you can hear that this is definitely at least touching the cone. Or maybe it's part of the speaker. Maybe it's meant to be part of it, and I don't know. I'm just not sure. Maybe we can pull this part instead of pulling that out. Maybe we can pull this piece out. Let me try. We're going to do it very carefully. Like I said again, using a razor blade to pry is never a good idea. But if I could just get this glue to just kind of give way in one spot, which is not, and it's, you know, it's kind of damaging it. So obviously this was never meant to be taken apart this way. Another thing we could do is just make a tiny little hole in the paper and push, you know, this piece forward. But you know, this seems to be a lot stronger than it looks. I'm not really sure about how to proceed with this. Look at that. Yeah, see, it's going to damage it, and I don't want to do that. We got to get it off from the back part. I mean, I guess, how could you do? You think we can heat it up? I don't know. I don't know what kind of glue this is. We could try to heat it up. You know, and I'm going to pause for a minute, and I'll come back when I figure out a way to get this off. Hopefully I won't damage it. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so what I wound up doing here was I realized that this radio was actually crushed, and this whole speaker was pushed in. So the basket was actually bent, and I didn't get it quite perfectly straight, but I got it where it sounds good. So the speaker actually sounds good, except we got this good dent right there. We got a little dent right there too, but I'd like to push that one out. So what I'm thinking, well, I'm going to poke a little round hole through the speaker right here, which is really not going to affect it. And try to push that grill forward rather than pulling the whole thing apart, because trying to rip this thing apart, now that I know I got it to sound okay, I know if I pull it apart, it's just going to probably ruin the speaker. So, alright, let's see. What's the smallest? Let me grab the smallest screwdriver I can find here. Let's see. Yeah, this will do. It's not the smallest one, but this one will do. So what I'm thinking is if we just push, just bit a little tiny hole right through the paper right here. There you go. Just push it through. And after we're done, we'll just go ahead and push that a little bit too far. When we're done, we'll just put a little bit of glue on there. Well, I mean, it's not. Could push it up a little bit right here. You know what? It's not easy to do that once they're bent, they're bent. But at least they won't be touching now. So now what I'll do is I'll push all the paper back as far as I can. And then we're going to take a little bit of this rubber to metal cement and just dab it in there. This is the kind of glue that gets everywhere. When you're doing this, you know, you can do it to parts of a speaker that don't move, and you should be okay. There is specific glue for reconing and stuff like that. Let me get the pieces back in place. I made that hole a little bit larger than I would have liked, but it's okay. All right. Let's grab a piece of paper here. All right. Let's get some solder. Let's see. We got to put it back here first, and then solder the wires back on, and we'll see how it sounds. Is that how it goes? Let me see. I should have made note of how it went in there, but it may not. It's got to go here because this is the only way. Yeah, it's got to go here. Now let's just toss a screw back in there. It's amazing that these screws are sticking to my finger. If you wanted to do that, you couldn't get it to do it. Watch, I'm going to want it to stick to the head of the screw. And look at that, it won't stick to the head of the screwdriver. What else is new? Let's see. It's nice that they made the speaker replaceable if you could get the speaker. Probably 50 years ago you could get this speaker as a replacement part. Not today though. Alright, well, it's good enough, good enough. If somebody wanted to pull that apart to refurbish it, I guess they could do that, but as it stands, as long as we can get it to work, we'll be happy. Alright, you get on there. Since it's not stereo, it doesn't matter. There's no phasing involved. It'd be nice if the two wires would stay in the right place. Let's see. We got to put these little pieces back over the screws. Little pieces of. It's amazing to me that these pieces of tape are still sticky, but they are. They're still sticky. All right. Let's just see. Let's turn it on and see what happens.
This is where it's going. How many other states is this happening? Somebody needs to.
Beautiful. All right, let's put it back together and see what she sounds like. Something tells me it's going to sound beautiful. It's going to sound beautiful. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get these screws back in with no problem. Here's one. Be nice if that speaker grill wasn't damaged at all, but you know, I'd learned sometimes you do you try to make it better and you just make it worse. So I just made it where it's not touching at all. Come on. and it'll work. You know, these radios don't have to be perfect. It's nice, you know, just to have them at all, to be honest. I like the idea of having the different models. One of the screws was missing. I probably could find the screw, but for right now, we're just going to leave it. Alright, let's see. Pull that up. We'll get this through here. It's a very nice looking radio, actually. I like this. These they're very, very well made. I mean, it's got those Elna capacitors in there, and the transistors with the sparklies all over them. Tin whiskers. But they're not bad. At least I don't think they're bad in this one. But when I made the comment, my point was is, if that's happening on the outside, I just wonder like what's going on the inside. What's going on here? Come on. Did I miss a wire or something? The bottom has got a crack in that corner right there, so that, of course, I'm going to be fighting that for a while. Alright, let's put a battery in it and let's see what happens. Let's see how she sounds. It's, is this going to fit in there? Are these batteries any larger than the standard? No, it seems like it's the right size. I should glue that, the one little piece there, which maybe I will. Actually, this battery may be slightly larger than a regular 9 volt. It's possible. It looks like it might be. Alright, let's see. I guess we could stand to clean the controls. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Right now it's about 11 o'clock at night right now. I think that's the camera.
Start with Wrangler. Much money in any case, so every little bit. Every time you turn around, it's been doing it for how many years? 40 years. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
I noticed a lot of Sony radios say like super sensitive. They always have that moniker or nomenclature, whatever you want to call it, that they use. But this one I don't think says that. So I wonder. Come on. I know this is a screw that came out of there. Come on, let's get in there. I wanted to try to get it where it wasn't falling apart in my hand. Alright, back to tuning. Yeah, that's about it.
Got a couple of things to say. One is the older medical professionals.
I wonder if we make it a little darker, turn some of the lights off, that'll make a difference. Get a little bit.
It's the fact that it's going to take.
Guide from college football playoffs through 35.
Here you go. A little bit of skip. Got a couple of stations together right there. I notice these little pocket radios, sometimes they work better if you're not covering your hand over the antenna. Sometimes they work better.
Now,
800-578-3203.
Mayfield in the gun. Where it appears as though that time seems to drag a lot more slowly. Beautiful defense by Cuba. Have the first down. Lower, it seems, in purgatory. So, to get your leader of this man, I think. I've been good, time drunk. Help to beat that time sober. Broke up the news.
Anyway,
Turn up to $500 cash.
that's it for that. What is that? The TR 650 made by Sony. It's not perfect, but she works. And, well, I don't know how old. This radio is definitely pretty old. And the manufacturer sure put forth to advertise that speaker. Maybe the size of the speaker compared to the size of the radio. It does, I have to admit, it does sound pretty good for a little pocket radio. But I'm not sure what year. We'll have to look it up. It's definitely from the 60s, but I mean, that was it in the 1960s. This is what somebody would carry around. Alright, well, let's grab another one of these radios. We'll do the next video right now after this. Maybe we'll do this this RCA Victor. I'm going to see what if it has all its components. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Stay safe and so long. Bye-bye.